Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes report for the day of 856 for the 28th of June. There is a lot of frontline changes report over the past 24 hours. We have over at Andrievka, Terni, Serbianske Forestry, Canal, Chesivia, Majos, Zalizne, Sokil, Novoselivka, Persha, Krasnohorivka, Maximilianivka, Boyeda Paraskovievka region as well as Verbove. So there's a lot of changes, a lot of super significant, massive change, huge amount of ground change hands. And so we're going to start off with Andrievka over at the Svatove front. So over at the Svatove front, the Russian forces, after yesterday's disclaim, they reported that the Russian forces attacked in this region here, in the Zerny as well as Andrievka region, just south of Miasu Zarivka, and the Russian forces taken a new line, taking 2-3 lines and getting closer to the water body around here. So, and if you zoom out, you can see that it's south of Stemakivka. So that's the frontline change over at this region. The next frontline change is over at Terni in the Ukrainian forces. Yesterday have claimed up to this position. We have corroboration with Ukrainian forces geolocated at this junction. However, I am unable to just based on this one geolocation determine that this entire area here is now Ukrainian. I can only put it as over this area here that is under Ukrainian, because this is where the Ukrainians will drive up along the tree line to attack this position or get this position. So the other side of this forest or Nogale or valley doesn't necessarily means that it's under Ukrainian control, which is why the reduction of the Russian front line is only for this region here. And so the next frontline change is over at the Serbianske Forestry. This time around, Ukrainian forces geolocated in the footage in the trenches. So this marks the first time the Ukrainians have retaken the trenches after they initially have lost it, and immediately they got struck by shelling, by Russian shelling. So yeah, so but at least this is more defendable. So we shall see how this developed for this Serbianske Forestry region. So that's all, and everything else is going to be just pro-Russian, in the sense of how the front line have advanced. So this is the only two Ukrainian good news. The next frontline change is over at Canal, over at the Bakhmut front. So over at the Canal region, there's some massive frontline change. So two geolocation, Russian forces geolocated over along the canal and also north of Canal micro district, caused a massive frontline change around this area here. So if I zoom in a bit, so based on certain mapping, they may have drawn it in this way, but this is unlikely to be correct. The main reason is because we have already previous reports of Russian forces attacking northward from the Canal micro district into the forest. This is the direction that the Russian forces are pushing. So if the Russian forces are geolocated here, then the frontline change should look like this rather than coming from the north. So this is important to note. And the fact that they geolocated around at these two locations invalidates everything here. This can't be under Ukrainian control anymore. So because I don't think the Russians would be able to move this far and ignore this entire forest here. It's just impossible. So Ukrainian forces in this forest is still possible, given that the front line may look actually like this. So this geolocation caused the front line change in this specific way. So that's all from the Canal region. The next frontline change is so this Chasivia and Canal region. The next frontline change is over at Majos in the southern point of the Bakhmut front, just off Druzhba of the New York front. Russian forces geolocated along this canal, kind of a water exchange pumping thingy. Anyway, the Russian forces geolocated here confirms that they have taken control of this entire waterway junction. So they have taken this position. So this marks another advance for the Russian forces. And then comes some massive changes. So over in the New York front, at the Sumy, Pivdeny, Zalizny region, Ukrainian mapping, Deep State UA has mapped massive frontline change around here. They have conceded all these grounds. I don't even know how much I should. This entire area, including major parts of Zalizny, has been now confirmed to be under Russian control, and the Russian forces have entered in this weird way. No, it looks weird, like, yeah. But no, I'm too pure and innocent to understand what this looks like. So this entire area here is now in the gray zone. There might be Ukrainian forces in this Dacha region. It may not be there, but unlikely the Ukrainians is going to stay here. They're probably going to get out of there because the Russian forces may pincer them in the near future. So we have Ukraine. This entire area means that the Ukrainians are facing urban battles very soon, and I'm not sure how serious the Russians are. It's looking really serious right now, and it may be a direct relation to the lack of Ukrainian forces in this area here that allow the Russian forces to advance this quickly. So you can see that this is a suburban region which the Russian forces are progressing quickly through. So there is still more of Zalizny. The entire Zalizny seems to be like this, but as you move northward, there is high-rise building. This is going to be a stronghold for the Ukrainians. I'm not sure if this is under Pivnishny or is this under Zalizny. I'm not sure which part of this is under. But but anyway, the Russians are making progress in this area here, and that's the most important thing to note right now. So the next frontline change after Zalizny is over at the Adiyevka front, over at Sokyu. So at Sokyu, the Russian forces seems to be almost close to capturing the entire Sokyu. Based on the latest mapping by Deep State UA, Russian forces have taken almost the entirety of Sokyu. I think we are only short of just a few buildings just around here, and we can kind of confirm that the Russians have taken the entire Sokyu, and most likely by this point, I think it's almost safe to say that Sokyu has been taken by the Russian forces, because these two buildings, I don't think Ukrainian forces will be inside if the Russians are this close. So, and we have another small little village of Vosgod, and Yekhanivka is already here. So the Sokyu, you probably will see some other channels or reporters will probably already claim that Sokyu has fallen to the Russians, and so this is exactly why it looks like it is the case. So we will just continue to wait a while and see, maybe a day or two, to see whether any declaration of the capture of Sokyu by the Russian side or the Ukrainian side. The Ukrainians did not mention about Sokyu getting captured. They only say that the Russians advanced. So so there must be certain parts that is still vital for Sokyu to be considered captured. The next frontline change is further south over the Umansky region. The Russian forces north of Umansky have captured the entire salient around here, moving in the direction of Novoselivka, Persha. And this is something that I mentioned before, that the Russians are likely to attack in the pincer, and we are starting to see this. So we will continue to monitor this area here. Clearly is just not possible for the Ukrainians to hold. So the fall of this entire piece of land makes perfect sense. It's also quite a big piece of land, 1.69 kilometers square or square kilometers. So so that's all for this area. The next frontline change is over at the Battle of Krasnohorivka. In the Battle of Krasnohorivka, there is two areas here where there are frontline changes, and I will talk about the easier one, which is this one over on the eastern part. Russian forces geolocated in two different locations, confirming Russian presence in this area, continue to invalidate Ukrainian claims that the Ukrainians are in this area here. So the Russian forces continue to be confirmed to have taken the entire eastern part of Krasnohorivka, and by the look of it, the entire eastern part has basically under Russian control, as far as this confirmed geolocated Russian forces are. So, and over on this, sorry, this is west, this is not east. Okay, I'm so sorry. And so over in the eastern part of Krasnohorivka, based on Russian mapping, they have now claimed that the Russians have taken advanced position, as well as the entire this eastern part of the Krasnohorivka. So they are now pushing northward in this area here, and they have taken a pretty advanced line around here. And this entire salient, this entire pop out, this place remains on the Russian mapping. So they have not invalidated themselves yet. They have continued to claim the front line look as like this. And if this is reality, Ukrainian forces over at this area here would not be able to hold their position. Why everything looks so sexy? Anyway, so sexual. Anyway, this is this position just not possible to be held. I think Ukrainian forces will have to redraw to save their life. Because yeah, again, this is going to encircle them if they are not careful. So as a result, if the Russian claims are to be trusted, yeah, this is a terrible situation for the Ukrainian forces. So we will just continue to monitor and see how this develops over the Battle of Krasnohorivka. And if Russian claims are true, we will see this entire part become red. And which means most of Krasnohorivka has been going to be captured, leaving a very, very small percentage, probably 15% of the Krasnohorivka left for capture. Unless the further north part, these are also part of Krasnohorivka, then yeah, we are only halfway through. So the next front line change after the Krasnohorivka is over at Masimilyanivka. So at this region here, based on Russian mapping, so from Georgievka, moving towards Masimilyanivka, Russian forces continue to launch their offensive in this area, and the Russian claims now looks like this. They have expanded their control around here, taking more of the forest and the tree lines around here, preparing the front for a much wider front for the Russians to launch a multiple direction assault. So this is vital. If you just one way through, then you're basically feeding into a kill zone. So no, that's bad idea. So this is the frontline change over at Masimilyanivka. The next frontline change is over south of this location, which is another massive change over in the Boyeda towards Paraskoviyevka. The entire front line here, massive change. So we talk about Bobeda first. Russian forces taken this entire tree line. They continue to advance south, taking all the tree lines around here, and they have also moved and captured all these nearly impossible or extremely difficult supply places for the Ukrainian positions. So Ukrainian forces probably have already withdrew from this area here due to difficulty in resupply and reinforcement to better lines, which is along the highway, which is also why we are seeing this massive change in terms of the frontline change. So we move a bit south, we will see that in the Paraskoviyevka region, based on the Ryba, the pro-Russian source reported that the Russian forces have finally secured Paraskoviyevka, and with this securing of the Paraskoviyevka, this comes with the entire flattening of the entire front line. Russian forces also continue to advance down this valley from the gully, from the Svinishina gully, moving towards the Krutsa gully. And the Russian forces allegedly has already crossed the gully, which is basically like a mini valley. And they have crossed over to the other side, which means that they're going to start to advance towards the highway. So with the highway is taken, then the entire northern side of this front line was going to collapse. It's because without the highway, it's going to be difficult for the Ukrainians to resupply northward. So yeah, a lot of implications to this major frontline change around the Konstantinivka region. And of course, the Ukrainians can go down the dirt roads to reinforce, but of course, roads normal roads are still preferable. So these are the major frontline change with the claim of the capture of Paraskovievka. The last frontline change is over at the Zaporizhia front, over at the Volbove region, and in the Volbove-Robotine region in the Orikhiv sector of the Zaporizhia front, Russian forces are geolocated in the new position. With Russian forces geolocated around here means that the Russian forces have grown a pimple around here, and with this pimple, they will continue this advance down this tree line, and meet Russian forces coming from this Robotine, and this will collapse the entire Ukrainian defenses around here, which is holding the remnants of the Surovikin line, which the Ukrainians managed to capture. So, but still a long way to go, but it is still a frontline change. So anyway, this is all the frontline changes report, and just purely the frontline changes report is already like 16 minutes long video. So I'm not going to go on into the sit rep. I'll do the sit rep later. So thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next update.